Okay, so welcome. For this video, I want to show you how to do the horizontal and vertical asymptotes. So the first thing I want to do, and I'm looking at this is a rational function, right? So I'm going to be dealing with a function up top and bottom and a fraction. Now, when dealing with the horizontal asymptote, to find the horizontal asymptote, we're going to use the horizontal asymptote test, which I've talked about in another video. But to do the horizontal test, though, we're going to look at the exponents of our two polynomials. So in this case, we want to make sure they're in descending order, and then we're going to compare the two asymptotes. Now, in this case, since I have the exponent of my leading term is larger in the numerator than is the denominator, then I do not have a horizontal asymptote. What I might be able to create is what we're going to call a slant or an oblique asymptote. But as far as a straight line horizontally, I'm not going to have one. Now, as the vertical asymptote, remember the vertical asymptote is going to be kind of your constraints on your domain. So you're going to look at what is kind of not possible in your domain. Well, for this rational function, the only time that we're going to have something that's going to be a constraint on our domain is when our denominator equals 0. So to find the values of x that make our denominator 0, I'm going to set the denominator equal to 0 and then solve. So what I get when I solve, I get x equals -1. So therefore, my domain, instead of being from negative infinity to infinity, is going to be from negative infinity to -1, not including -1, and then from -1 to infinity. So there it goes, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to be your, x equals -1 is your vertical asymptote, and your domain is going from negative infinity to -1 and -1 to infinity. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed.